Dear Charlie, in the end, I was crazy about you and I wanted to be your lover. I didn't realize any of this until we'd gone our separate ways. In the beginning, we were friends who sat next to each other in acting class. It was fun being your friend. We talked, shared notes, and flirted. Your first message to me was an email on Facebook commenting on flirting being listed as one of my favorite activities. You doubted that I liked flirting and told me I should flirt more. You told me I looked devastatingly hot in a photo and said, so deal with that. You confessed you'd had a few drinks and knew you'd get blasted for writing that on my Facebook wall. I told you not to worry because it was a private message. I told you I had to be careful with my flirting because people mistake it for being more than that, and that was the end of the conversation. Time passed and nothing else ever came of that exchange. A month later, we decided to do a scene together from Lovers and Other Strangers. You warned me that the scene we'd chosen was one that would require us to be intimate. You asked if I were ready for that. I wasn't, but I told you I could get ready. We got together at your place to rehearse the scene. It was on this day that I realized something more was going on. We both knew that neither of us had had sex in a while. The scene called for some very sensual moments. Still, at this time, I wasn't interested in anything with you or anyone, really. No more casual LA sex. A lot happened during rehearsal. You weren't sure if you were staying in Los Angeles or moving back home to the Midwest, so even though working on the scene evoked emotions, they were quelled because of your uncertainty. We went to the Galleria, ate lunch, and had some beers. After you drunk enough, you built up courage to tell me something. I had a feeling I knew what it was. I wouldn't let you tell me. We had been drinking and were still high off the feelings from practicing the scene. I thought you were going to tell me you were attracted to me or had feelings for me, and I wasn't ready to hear that at the time. So I avoided it almost to the point of rejection. I wouldn't let you get your thoughts out. I cut you off repeatedly. I believed you were grasping at something to hold on to in Los Angeles, some reason to stay. Later at your home, you broke down and it freaked me out. You said you were considering leaving so you could be home with your family. Chasing an actor's dream in Los Angeles was a joke. I didn't want you to leave, but I also wasn't ready to handle all that you were feeling. To my surprise, you abruptly took a month off school. We no longer had to practice the scene. We no longer had to spend time together. We drifted, and then I quit acting class altogether. We checked on each other a few times over the next few months. Then May came around, and for 2 months I thought we might finally happen. First, there was Stephanie's Cinco de Mayo party. You looked so damn good, and we were friendly, but we weren't flirty. Shortly after, you sent a birthday party invite. I wanted to know if you were single, so I replied and told you that I wanted to fix you up with someone. I really did, but I really wanted you for myself, but still didn't think it was possible or made sense. The two of you were both older and were ready for children. And at 30, babies were the furthest thing from my mind. In that email, I told you she had already seen your pictures and liked what she'd seen. I asked if I could send you pictures and added, you are the perfect man and sensitive. You are good, sensitive, funny, masculine, and kind. You thanked me for those words because it had been a while since you'd heard them. You asked for the pictures. I sent them, and you never replied. Your birthday party was a few days later. By then, I knew I had strong feelings for you. I remember telling Stephanie how much I wanted you. It was almost laughable because for more than a year I had been so against anything even remotely romantic with you. By the time your birthday came around, I had been without sex for 15 months, and I had it in my head that if you were still without sex and single, then we should help each other out. At your party, you got drunk, and it would have been so easy to take you home. We took so many pictures. There are a few of just the two of us, but there's one in particular that John took. We are standing, flirting. Your arms are around my waist. We're stomach to stomach, chest to chest. Our faces are so close. We look as if we're about to kiss. John even made that remark. I never posted it. You've never seen it. It was a very sincere moment between us, and of all the pictures of just the two of us, it was the one that looked most relaxed and genuine. By the end of the night, it was just me, you, and Stephanie. I abruptly left because I used to do that a lot, and Stephanie ended up driving you home. 20 days later, you sent me a hoops and yo-yo card for my 31st birthday. That opened up a whole new conversation where I sent you a series of questions seeking advice about another man's intentions with me. The questions were also applicable to you. You were kind enough to reply with complete, thoughtful answers. This led to you taking me out to dinner since you'd missed my birthday party. Between you answering the questions and the dinner, I saw you at Stephanie's documentary screening and a few days later at the film festival. You sat next to me, and I loved it. For my birthday dinner, we had Indian. I asked you why you never wrote me back about the blind date with my friend. You told me you were attracted to me and not my friend. We got through dinner as friends. The flirting was light. We talked about life. I really wanted you to see The Hangover with me, but you had to go right with Tim. The obligatory birthday dinner was over. A week later, since we'd talked about wanting babies, I wrote you and asked, when you envision your children, do you see brown babies? You replied, I'd be thrilled with brown babies. This was like 2 months later. A few weeks later, since I had an extra ticket, I asked if you'd like to go to the Aerosmith concert. You couldn't because you were working. I wouldn't see you again until October at Stephanie's birthday party. Stephanie had her birthday party at a bar. You got a little buzzed again. Making conversation, I asked if you'd had sex. No. You asked me. No. For you, it'd been over 2 years. I was a few months shy of 2 years. Later in the evening, we were alone again, standing outside in the middle of the chatter and music. You looked me straight in the eyes and with staunch conviction told me that it would be so good. You said you were a better lover than any man in that bar. You weren't begging, you weren't just providing me information, you were sharing something you knew to be true. I didn't know what to do, so I did what I do with you. I laughed it off. I didn't tell you I had feelings for you. I didn't tell you I already knew how good it would be. I wouldn't talk to you again for 8 months. When I asked you to play a role in my movie, you agreed. You were wonderful. I wasn't sure how you felt about me anymore, so I didn't say anything. You left the set early to go to work. I was disappointed. I thought maybe it'd be the last time I'd see you because I was leaving Los Angeles 3 months later, and I was right. Right before I left LA in June to go traveling around Europe, I went to Kim's party. Tim was there. Angela and I were together. At the end of the night, we drove Tim to his car. We all hung out for a bit, talking about everything. I know how close you and Tim were. I told him that I had feelings for you, and he immediately exclaimed, "But you're leaving." He was right, but the way he said it made me feel like you two had discussed us before, and it felt good. Of all the men who've been in my life, you are the only one who never knew how I felt about him. And I think in a world where it's getting harder and harder to find love, I have to tell you that you were loved. My inability to express myself and accept my feelings as genuine was purely immaturity. I miss you tremendously, and I think about you often, and I hope that you are happy. Love, Kay. And P.S. One day over drinks, you told a group of us that you wanted your wedding song to be AC/DC's Back in Black. Whenever I hear it, I think of you getting happily married.